In their worldwide privacy tour, privacy tour. Prince Harry, I almost called him Harry Styles. Prince Harry Styles.
No.
Prince Harry has decided that the best way to get privacy is to ignore HIPAA laws, like I said, and display his trauma for everyone to see by going in to see a therapist and charging you, the viewer, $33.99, or it was like $33.95.
$33.99.
That's So you can pay $40 to go. You can pay $40 to go listen to all of Harry's trauma. Harry's Trauma would be a great band name.
So he's going to be talking to a trauma expert named Gabor Mate.
Yep.
And here's what he had to say about it. In Spare, Prince Harry is very open about his mental health challenges, as I have been about my own in my books.
Usually you're private about your mental health challenges. It's very strange.
Such a public conversation, I hope, will help encourage more openness about mental health and contribute to remove the stigma around what we call mental illness. Honestly, I think we could do with a little more stigma these days around mental health issues, because it's become so normalized that people would rather have something wrong with them than be healthy.
I think in the modern age, we have sort of embraced mental health. We do talk about it. We acknowledge that people suffer from various issues, and that therapy or seeking counseling isn't necessarily a bad thing. We have removed a huge stigma. I think we are now replacing the idea of being aware of mental health as a potential detriment to health with self-obsession, right? Yep. People say like, oh, I just want to talk about my mental health because I'm, promoting this, that, or the other, or I want to talk about my grief, or I want to talk about, whatever it is. And sure, maybe tell your story in a way that helps someone else understand, like, this is maybe normal, or maybe this is a reason to go seek help. But if you constantly talk about it, you're mostly just wanting to talk about yourself.
I mean, if I see a TikTok of someone saying that they haven't brushed their teeth in 2 years because they have depression, and everyone in the comments is applauding them, I don't think that that's doing work to destigmatize mental health. I think most people who see that are thinking, wow, that's disturbing. Scroll. Like, the people who aren't commenting don't think that this is an affirming message. They think that it's gross and disturbing, also, and they're stigmatizing it more in their minds.
You're saying you're depressed, you haven't brushed your teeth, but you do have time to make
you have the motivation to publicize that to millions of people.
And then what happens? Like, someone are like, wow, like, you're going through so much. Be nice to yourself, whatever else. Like, maybe they really do. They have good intentions. They want to be supportive. They want to be kind to people who might be suffering. But then the person who's like, wow, that reel did so well.
Yeah.
So therefore, if I get over my depression and brush my teeth, I will then no longer have this niche that gives me attention, is actually what I'm seeking. I think that we say we're talking about mental health when really we're just trying to talk about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Harry wants to give another interview and he can't come up with another angle.
Yeah.
So
I'm no Princess Diana stan or anything, but I feel like this is kind of a disrespect to her memory, because he's commodifying his grief.
Yeah.
Right. After she did so much to try and keep their lives out of the public eye. Like,
he's literally selling the trauma of losing her for public consumption, and seems to see no ethical problem with that. And also, like, I really wish Ian were here today, because this trauma expert has promoted the use of ayahuasca to treat mental illness. I'm sure Ian would be very opinionated about that. But there have been more cases that I've seen where people do ayahuasca and then go into deeper and deeper holes of not only depression but also psychosis.
It's true of anything. Like, some people say taking CBD oil can help with anxiety or whatever. Or
there's a scale, though. There are degrees of extremity.
Some people will say you can treat post-traumatic stress disorder through, like, when you take mushrooms, and some of these things work in some cases. The thing is, your brain is, you never know what your brain is going to do until it's too late. And so,
is he telling Prince Harry that he would benefit from using ayahuasca to treat his childhood trauma and his grief?
Who knows what he's saying? On the other hand, like, I don't think that someone who said, like, well, it's worked for some people, so you should take ayahuasca is necessarily an expert. I also don't think that hearing more about Prince Harry is really doing anything to be awareness. Like,
It's
if
pure
he-
salacious tabloid
right,
gossip.
He just wants to say, he wants to talk about himself and he wants to stay in the news.
This is tabloid gossip masquerading as like some kind of activist movement.
Where
Like
it would
this
be more
trauma expert
interesting-
said, a discussion of loss, trauma, and healing is of interest to people at all levels of society. Some statement that's as vague as that could kind of pass as true, but really the reason that people are going to pay to see this live stream is because it has Prince Harry in it, and he's going to talk about Princess Diana and people who are considered, you know, celebrities of interest.
Yeah.
And they
Also,
want
like-
the gossip.
You know what people also like looking at? Car wrecks. You know what people also
Yeah.
like looking at? Fights that people are having on the street, to be like, what are they arguing about? Like, tell me really right now.
How many people
I
bought
think
Spare
that
just so they
this
could
is-
make fun of him?
I think that this is ultimately, you know, an act of him wanting to stay in the media. And I think if he really wanted to advance conversations about mental health, he has the resources to do it, right?
Yeah.
He could be speaking, he could be working with a coach and then go on a public speaking tour and speak at high schools and tell kids, like, it can be really stressful, this, that, and the other. Here's what I did. He could be opening clinics. He could be giving out grants through a foundation that he starts. But instead, he's like, here's another chance to see me. I think that it's revealing what his motivations are. And I just think ultimately by claiming this is about mental health, like, it is and it isn't, right? It's about his personality. It's about maybe an act of, it's about being conceited, but it's not about helping someone who is struggling with depression, anxiety, or whatever.
How does the trauma experienced by a member of the royal family relate to the average person's life anyways, to a point where they could extrapolate any useful information from that?
I
Other
mean,
than,
I guess the
weird
general
celebrity
concept
worship?
of losing a family member, but beyond that, this is people paying to hear salacious details about the royal family because they're interested in that, the tabloid gossip stuff. And, you know, this is a continuation of the Worldwide Privacy Tour, which, by the way, violates the privacy of his family members who haven't signed the book deals, who haven't signed the Netflix deals, but are now getting talked about, like, against their will. And rightly have a problem with that. Like, now, for instance, Prince William and Kate Middleton are going to be wrapped up in conversations about this because Prince Harry has decided to, you know, mine himself for trauma and sell it to the public. Harry is also going to be on Colbert next week, I heard. The segments and the media appearances never end.
Well, and he's only talking to high profile people, right? It bothers me that he's saying, like, if you want to talk about grief about losing a parent, like, that's really serious, but why don't you reach out to kids who have experienced that and work with them, right? Why does it always have to be like, I'm talking to a high profile doctor, I'm talking to a celebrity,
And
or
it just
talking
so
to
happens,
Oprah.
coincidentally, that it's things that are lucrative for me and also, like, amplify his clout as, like, a wannabe American celebrity.
I think if you wanted to make a difference, there are ways to actually more directly impact people. I don't think what he's doing is that. And that's why it just feels like, I mean, even if somehow this was genuine, that he really, really did want to be a part of mental health advocacy in America or in England or wherever, why would he put himself in the ivory tower to talk about it? Why wouldn't you go out among people?
Speaking of the ivory tower, I just wanted to run by the drama surrounding King Charles's upcoming coronation. Apparently, a bunch of different musicians have refused to perform at this concert.
No Harry
on
Styles.
May 7th. So
Feels like
Harry Styles
should
has
be
said
there.
no. Elton John has said no. Robbie Williams, the Spice Girls,
I thought
Ed
Elton John
Sheeran,
had to because he was a
Adele.
knight.
What is Adele British?
Yes.
Okay, I was
from
totally
London?
unaware of that. But all of these artists have refused to perform there. And what is that about? Is it some kind of, like,
there's-
principled objection? Seems
like-
like something they'd like kill to have the
opportunity
opportunity.
I mean, even if they're like, oh, it'd be an honor, but also people are kind of mad at the monarchy, so I don't want to come anywhere near this potentially political conflict. And that's
Biden's
Yeah.
inauguration had performances from Lady Gaga, Jennifer Lopez.
Look up Trump, though.
Yeah.
So is it his connection to Prince Andrew?
I think it's just
It's politicized
general-
in America, but
Yeah.
like it could
Any
be equally
monarchy.
politicized over there.
Yeah, more
I
so
think
over
it
there.
is over there. I think
Yeah.
that, like, they are controversial. Yeah, the Epstein stuff, sure, but also just generally, should the monarchy exist? Is Prince Andrew a good fit? I think like it's just like anyone not wanting to or not wanting to perform at a political inauguration.
Yeah.
And we know that, especially in Hollywood, everything leans blue. And so they're more likely to perform at a Democratic inauguration of a governor or whoever than they would at a conservative.
It's always hilarious, all of the musicians who like sent Trump cease and desist letters about using their music at his events. Like,
Yeah.
you can't use that. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.